It was a horrible day yesterday. There was a gigantic terror attack. 13 people are dead. At least 100 are injured. I mean, these numbers are incredibly high, and this is in Barcelona. There was a second suspected terror plot that was also thwarted. A guy rammed into a crowded tourist area. That's the terror attack that actually yielded the 13 victims, and then again 100 others injured at least. But in a nearby area, there were 5 people that were engaged in a shootout with cops, and the cops killed 5 people. And it's actually been reported as an attempted linked terror attack. So there were, at least to this point, there were 2 arrests over the registration of the van that was used in the terror attack, where they rammed into and killed 13 people, injured 100. But the people were eventually let go because apparently whoever did the attack, they registered the van in the names of the other 2 people, and those 2 people were confirmed as not being the drivers of the van. And the guy escaped on foot. He escaped on foot, which is, that seems weird to me. It seems like, almost like something that happens in a movie. Like, really? He got away on foot in the age of cameras fucking everywhere and, us being able to track things rather quickly? Well, he was able to get away on foot, at least as of this moment that I'm talking to you right now. He has not been captured. Like I said, there were 5 people killed in a linked terror attempt in a different part of Spain. And this was targeting a tourist area. Now, as of right now, the authorities are saying it's a Moroccan, I think a Moroccan immigrant, legal immigrant in Spain that did it. ISIS has taken responsibility. They did it directly after the attack. So this is a situation, it appears to be example number 3,762 of radical Islamic terrorism. You look at what happened here, and it's grotesque, and it's vicious, and it's disgusting, and you think, like, what the fuck? What kind of motive? Like, who do you think you're doing this for? Why do you think this makes sense? And this is an instance where, I mean, it really puts it into perspective, because oftentimes with the U.S., we look at what we've done and we go, oh, I guess maybe it could be backlash for our foreign policy. Well, this is an instance where the Spanish foreign policy led to this backlash by ISIS? No. This shows you that when you have a radical Islamic terrorist, when you have a Muslim fundamentalist, they don't need any sort of real-world rationale, because they've drunk the ideological Kool-Aid where they think, no, seriously, anybody who's not on Team ISIS, anybody who's not a Salafi Muslim with the most ultra-conservative interpretation of Islam, you are an enemy. And you are, you're an infidel or you're an apostate. They don't think, they call Shias rejectionists. So even if you're Muslim, well, they're not Muslim enough. They're not the kind of Muslim that I like. So we're going to kill people who are moderate Sunnis. Of course, Muslims are the #1 victims of radical Islamic terrorism as well. We're going to kill Shias. We're obviously atheists and Jews. You're at the bottom of the rung. I don't know. Of course, we're going to go after them. And this is an instance where they're going after random tourists in Spain. Let me ask you a question. The people who, and it was people from all over the world. There were people from Hong Kong there. There was an American who died in the attacks. People from everywhere. Is it like a random, grandma from Spain who has been any problem to people in ISIS or these radical Islamic terrorists? No. They're terrorizing because they're trying to bring about their caliphate. They're trying to destroy in the name of their ideology. And this is what it looks like. This is what it looks like. And it's ugly, it's disgusting, and this was an instance where the people in our government were able to recognize it right away. Donald Trump immediately went to Twitter and he said, "We condemn the terrorist attack in Barcelona. We love you and we're with you." I think the frustrating thing to many people is that in this instance, like I said, everybody in our government, of course, radical Islamic terrorism, that's what this appears to be. Call it by its name, right? Well, in the case a few days ago when you had the white supremacist terrorists run over a left-wing protester, killer, and injured many others too, by the way, he said, whoa, 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 everybody pump your brakes here. There's blame on both sides, and let's wait for the facts.
When I make a statement, I like to be correct. I want the facts. This event just happened. In fact, a lot of the event didn't even happen yet as we were speaking. This event just happened. Before I make a statement, I need the facts. I think there's blame on both sides, and I have no doubt about it. You had some very bad people in that group, but you also had people that were very fine people on both sides.
What? So when it's a Muslim, oh, yeah, of course, radical Islamic terrorism is to blame, and let's call it out, call the evil by its name, and be unequivocal and to the point, and do it immediately when there's still blood on the pavement. But in the instance of a white supremacist terror attack, well, but first of all, never use the word terrorism when it's that instance. Ever, ever, ever. Even Jeff Sessions, having time to think about it, he goes, yeah, maybe it's a civil rights violation or a hate crime. That's a terrorist attack. That fits any definition of terrorism. White supremacists running over a left-wing protester, killing a civilian in the name of a political ideology that is the definition of terrorism. Nobody says terrorism. And Trump was even worse with his both sides. Both sides. I like to wait for the facts. I like to have the facts when I talk. That's what he said after a white supremacist used an ISIS tactic to kill somebody. But in this case, they can come out and say, no, seriously, we're going to call the evil by its name, and we're going to say we're unequivocally with the people of Barcelona. By the way, that's the right response in this instance. The right response is to call it out by its name, say we're 100% with the people of Barcelona, and we should have seen that response as well to the situation in Charlottesville, and we didn't. So that's what leadership looks like. You call it out by its name. You 100% say it's wrong. There's no place for this. We love the victims. We're with the victims. We'll be strong. We'll be resolute, and we'll get through this. But it depends on who does the attack, how quickly you assign the motive, how quickly you call it terrorism or don't call it terrorism. And what I would like to see is all these white supremacist scumbags and all these Muslim fundamentalist scumbags be defeated. Now, how you do that is obviously a much different question and a much more difficult question. I mean, really the root of all this here is ideology to a certain extent. So it's people who have just gone off the walls and lost their mind to a fundamentalist religion, whether it's Muslim fundamentalism and Salafism, or whether it's white supremacy. I mean, that functions as a fundamentalist religion as well. It's like a brain disease, a brain virus, where you start to really believe things that are absolutely ridiculous. Muhammad did not fly to heaven on a winged donkey. It didn't happen. On the white supremacist side, it's not true that you're genetically superior. You are by definition superior because you have white skin. That's ridiculous. Look at some of these people who show up to these white supremacist rallies. They're anything but superior to anybody. They have giant beer bellies. They look like they haven't been laid since 1978. They are clearly unintelligent. They claim to be the most civilized. Check out this irony. They claim to be the most civilized as they do shit like Nazi salutes and they're dressed up like the KKK. You can't say you're the most civilized and then act in the most barbaric way and support the most barbaric ideology. That's a contradiction. Believing in that ideology makes you not that bright. The fact that you say, yes, I think what these people are advocating for, what Adolf Hitler believed in, I think that's true. What the Klan fought for, I believe that stuff is true. Okay, well then you just undermined your own argument that you're superior, because it's like you believe the functional equivalent of, fairy tales, Mother Goose. The arguments in favor of these ideologies are incredibly weak. So it's people who've bought into a fundamentalist ideology and they're all in on it. Those are the kinds of people who ram a car into innocent people. So, I mean, to be united in our opposition in all these cases is the correct answer. To be united in our opposition and to let everybody know there's nothing cool, there's nothing edgy, there's nothing, one-upping to say, oh yeah, I'm part of this cult, I'm part of this group here, and this is what we think reality looks like. And then everything you happen to believe in the context of that ideology, whether it's Islamic fundamentalism or whether it's white supremacy, is just stupid. You're not on to say, ooh, I figured out the truth that other people don't know. No, you didn't. No, you didn't. You got convinced by some other idiot douchebag on a message board online who was spewing complete garbage, and you weren't skeptical enough or rational enough to think about it in a serious way and break it down and understand the flaws. That's really what's going on. And these beliefs have real-world consequences. And we're seeing them unfold, unfortunately, seemingly on a daily basis now.